All right, greetings everyone. This is Chris Dixon, and I'm here with another video and discussion. Hope all is good and well with everyone. In this particular video and discussion, I will be building on the famous occult symbol known as the Baphomet. And I will be also sharing with you all two good books that you all should pick up for your study on this particular symbol. And the first one is titled Baphomet, History, Ritual, and Magic of the World's Most Famous Occult Icon by Michael Osiris Snuffin. This book was released and published last year on April the 8th, 2025. So it's fairly new. All right. I'm currently on chapter 5 at the moment. And so far, I'm enjoying it. He provides a lot of good information on the history of Baphomet. He goes into the spiritual symbology of what this symbol represents. And he also provides some rituals that you can utilize for your spiritual growth and evolution, so that you can embody, what Baphomet represents. Okay. So good book so far. As you can see here, he has the actual picture of Baphomet as the front cover picture of his book. So good book to get. The second one is titled The Sufis by Idris Shah. Okay. This is another good book to have on the Baphomets and its relationship to mystical Islam known as Sufism. Okay. He goes into detail on how the Baphomet is associated with the Moors, okay, who were also known as the Sufis of mystical Islam. The word Sufi means woolly hair. So the Sufis, or these individuals who had woolly hair, were also known as the Moors, and they was also alchemists as well. So they was representing a symbol, okay, known at that time as Baphomet, which became known as Mohammed, but also became known as the Baphomet. Baphomet, Mohammed. It all correlates together within this particular system of Sufism. So he goes into detail on that as well. So another good book to have on the Baphomet. All right. But as you can see here, the Baphomet is a very popular symbol, as it pertains to the occult. But it's also a lot of misunderstandings that people have, about the symbol. A lot of people have a lot of fear and superstition concerning this symbol. That's due to all of the misinformation that's been put out over the years for a very long time concerning this symbol. So, the average person will look at this symbol and automatically think of, the devil or Satan. All right. And just an overall symbol of evil. And that is far from the truth. All right. This is actually a divine symbol that represents alchemical transformation. Okay. Uh, so of course, alchemy, originating in ancient Egypt. Okay. Um, this is a particular symbol that is symbolizing um, alchemical transformation or spiritual transformation that um, takes place within an individual. Okay. Technically, it is not a deity. Okay. Um, it is simply a symbol that has occult meanings to it or hidden spiritual meanings um, that's connected to it. All right. So as you see this symbol, the head of this symbol, the goat's head, the reason that it's been associated with being a deity, because the head of the goat originates with the god Pan from Greek mythology. Okay, Pan in Greek mythology, also known as the horn god, is the god of nature, balance, and harmony. Okay, um, in Greek mythology. So that is where the head of the goats um, came from. All right. So that's why, uh, it's been associated with being, a deity, because, the head is originally connected with um, a deity from the Greek mythology. Uh, but as you continue to look at the symbol, this symbol has, hidden spiritual meanings within it. So as you see, he has one arm pointed upward and the other arm pointed downward. That symbolizes correspondence. Okay, as above, so below, as within, so without. All right, and it can also be associated with um, man's two natures, man's higher nature and man's lower nature. Okay, so the arm pointed upward represents the higher nature of man, and the arm pointed downward representing the lower nature of man. Both connected together as one. All right. So correspondence is connected to this symbol. Polarity is connected to the symbol as well. So you see it has a masculine physique with female breasts. So that represents the divine masculine and the divine feminine, okay, connected together as one, also known as androgyny, okay, because both polarities are within each and every one of us, um, both male and female, okay, both have both of these polarities, okay, um, within us. So androgyny, polarity between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, um, is connected to the symbol as well. And you also see the two moons. One is white, the other one is dark. And it also symbolizes duality, okay, between darkness and light. The white moon, um, and both of these moons, okay, are representing two Sephiras within the Kabbalistic tree. The white moon being, it's said, which represents mercy, and the dark moon representing Garuva, okay, which means severity or justice, okay. But it's also describing, darkness and light being connected together as one as well, because darkness and light is within each and every one of us as well. So it symbolizes the integration of one's shadow with one's light side, so to speak. So the integration of darkness and light, together, the integration of the divine masculine and the divine feminine together as well. All right. The four elements are within this symbol as well. As you can see, he's sitting on top of the planet Earth, okay, in the lotus position. The earth element being connected to the physical earth, being the first element in the picture, and him sitting on top of the earth is symbolic of what's known as self-mastery. Okay. What is self-mastery? So self-mastery is when you gain control and mastery over your internal flaws, weaknesses, fears, addictions, traumas, etc. Gaining control of your emotions, and things of that nature. You have now gained mastery over these things. What some people would say, gaining mastery over your internal world. Okay. So as you gain mastery over your internal world, you gain mastery over the outer world. Okay. Because like correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Okay. We are one, with this universe. Okay. As the universe exists on the outer level or the outer perspective, it also exists, internally within us. So when we master the inner world, we become the master of the outer world, okay, which is symbolic of him sitting on top of the earth in the lotus position, okay. So the planet Earth representing the earth element. If you move on up, you see the two serpents, which represents the fire elements, okay? And the fire element is connected to the Kundalini life force energy, okay? That's within us. So the Kundalini is also connected to this symbol as well. And the Kundalini energy, which is also, our sexual energy. This is the energy that brings us into higher states of consciousness. Okay. So a lot of the yogis, in the East, when they do their meditations, they activate their Kundalini. Okay. And it travels up the base of the spine. Okay. In the form of a serpent, symbolically speaking. Okay. It goes through the first six chakras, penetrating through the seventh main chakra, which is the crown, which is at the top of his head. So that symbolizes, spiritual illumination, okay? Because that's what happens when you begin to gain mastery, control and victory, okay, over your um, internal obstacles, and things of that nature, okay? Or you can say mastery over your inner world that brings you into um, spiritual illumination or enlightenment, so to speak. Um, so like the yogis, they would um, activate this energy and they would raise it up during meditation, right? And instead of, um, wasting, this energy, because like I said, is sexual energy, instead of wasting it on something sexual, they would transmute it, okay, or redirect the energy um, to take them to a higher level of consciousness, all right? So the fire element is connected to this symbol as well, okay? As you can see, the flame coming out the top of his head or coming out of the crown chakra, um, that symbolizes Kundalini awakening, all right? So earth element, fire element, as you can see in the stomach area as well, you see the scales, and the scales are associated with fish, and fish are connected to water, all right? So the water element is represented by the scales, okay? And then he has wings, right? The wings represent the air element, all right? Because wings are commonly associated with, birds, and things of that nature. Uh, Angels, so to speak. So the wings represent the air element, all right? As you can see on his forearms, he has two words, salve coagula, all right? And this is a particular phrase that's connected to alchemy, which means to dissolve, all right? And the dissolution process, okay? And this particular process is connected to the four stages of alchemy, right? The Negrito stage, the Solutio stage, the coagulation stage, all right? Also known as Centrinus, okay? Because it's represented by the color yellow. So Negrito is black, Solutio is white, coagulation is yellow, and then you have the rubedo stage or the reddening stage, okay? So these particular processes, okay, is connected to alchemical transformation. So salve coagula, or what's known as the dissolution stage, is commonly associated with the Negrito stage first, okay, or the blackening stage, which is symbolic of the human ego or the false self being dissolved, all right, and going through the dissolution process, okay. So symbolically speaking, the false identity is breaking down and dissolving so that the true you can emerge, okay? The awakening of your soul, okay? The evolution of your soul, all right? So making the internal decision to get on the path of self-mastery and finally face yourself and become the master over your internal world. Okay. You first have to go through the breakdown moment, right? Because you're going to have several of them. Okay. So I could say moments. You're going to have several of these experiences. Okay. Because that's the process of gaining, mastery of self. Okay. This path deals with consistent change. Okay. So that's something that you're going to have to get used to, So when the old you or the old identity, okay, that you had prior to embarking on this path of knowledge of self and self-mastery, go through releasing, old beliefs, deconstructing, false beliefs that you've, had your whole life, indoctrination, via religion, society, the whole 9 yards. So all of this is taking place within you psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, as you embark on a new journey. Okay. So that's what the phrase solve coagula means. Okay. It's alchemical terminology. All right. That's pretty much the symbol in a nutshell. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's not Satan. It's not the devil. Okay. All of that came, later on in history, because this symbol originated in the 19th century. Okay. So it didn't become associated with the devil or evil. Okay. Until later on down the line. But originally this symbol, goes back to the practice of alchemy. Okay. The science and practice of alchemy. Okay. So the symbol is representing you. Okay. The individual that's on the path of self-mastery. Okay. And consistent change. All right. But that's pretty much all that I wanted to build on concerning this particular symbol. I hope that this discussion helped, and you all enjoyed this particular video. If you did enjoy it, please like it, subscribe to the channel. Okay. Continue to listen in to the podcast, the Tunnel Vision Podcast, on Spotify and other major podcast platforms. All right. If you have any questions about anything, email me. Okay. All that information is in my bio of my YouTube page, as well as my podcast. All right. Like I said before, I am offering consultations, spiritual consultations, spiritual readings, as well as deity readings. Okay. If you're interested in any of my services, just send me an email. Okay. But that's pretty much all that I have for this particular discussion. Okay. Hope that you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Peace.